Indeed, here we go once again. Remember, the reason I play one of those collection of my sounders, it simply says, hey, take a few moments to please pay attention. Hopefully something significant might happen. Probably not significant, but maybe helpful or useful or practical, or in some way it might even make you smile, and that's good. As I oftentimes remind people, whenever you're talking about marketing, the fundamental rule is make them smile. And as we learned yesterday, when people smile, they're happier. So if your marketing can make people smile, it might have the goal of doing just exactly what you want them to do, which is to keep following you, perhaps stay engaged with you, stay connected with you, and eventually maybe even buy from you. Well, those are some of the lessons that we try and teach when we teach you how to market you. And today, on this Wednesday, right in the middle of the week, I'm going to give you a preview of one of my old radio lessons that I learned many years ago, and I've discovered that it is one of the most important words in the English language, and particularly if you're trying to make a living doing business. And that probably includes most of you. Some interesting ideas. That's the name of the program, and it begins right now. Some years ago, one of the colleges in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area had heard about me, and they knew that I also did some work in terms of radio work, so they invited me to talk to them about perhaps teaching a class on marketing. And then they wanted to know a little bit more about, what are my credentials in that. And I rather surprised them by saying, I've read a lot about marketing, but I've never taken a class on marketing. And then I just stopped and said, by the way, I learned everything that I know about marketing by being a missionary and by being on the radio. And that has given me all the background that I really need to know. And so they said, okay. Then they gave me this great big marketing book. And I went through it, and it was literally not just about marketing. It was about business. It was the whole business model. And I knew that was going to be way too much for the 8 weeks of the class. So I said to my class, and by the way, the luxury that I had, what it was a night class in the adult education. So these were people who were serious about getting a degree, and they were taking time. But they really didn't want anybody to waste their time. Obviously, they had families to attend to, and they had jobs that took a lot of time and energy. And then for them to come once or twice a week for 6 to 7 hours, maybe 4 to 6 hours, they didn't want to just put in time reading something or hearing about something they could have just as easily read. So I made a commitment, read some of the assigned stuff, and then when I teach you marketing, it'll be based on my own experiences, what I've learned by being a missionary, which is trying to persuade people to do something that they might not be inclined to do, and radio, how to communicate to people in a way that they don't switch you off. And that's how I learned my marketing. And I think I learned it pretty well. So I wrote a book called The Difference Is You, and it was a guide to what we call personal performance marketing, which means it's not just sending messages out there or brochures or whatever else you do or making posts on a YouTube or making posts on Facebook. It's how you perform. Now, we're actually changing that now in this latter stage of my life. I'm going to put together a series of podcasts and videos called The Marketing Life. And the reason for that is, here's what I've discovered. Everything you do is marketing you. Everything you do is how you market you. You don't just become a marketer and do marketing. What you become is a full and attractive and engaging and performing and a kind and humane human being, because everything you do is how you market you. And that's why we call it the marketing life. That's coming up. I think you might enjoy it because it will be unlike any marketing class or course you have ever taken. I promise you. And if you'd like me to come and teach that to your colleagues, I guarantee you it'll be very different from any of the marketing stuff you've ever heard or learned before. And I'll start with an old radio lesson. Okay, here we go. Many times during the program called the Caribbean Night Call, which we did, and what that was it was a late night program. It went from approximately 11 o'clock, right after the 11 o'clock news, and it went to close down, which was about 1:15. So it was about a little over 2 hours. Now that was a time where obviously most people aren't even awake. But guess what? There are hundreds and thousands of people who are awake for a variety of reasons. And we had, around the world, a large audience. And it wasn't just a program that attempted in the best of missionary ways to try and convince somebody to do something or believe something. It was a significant part of it was just feel-good entertainment, something interesting, something amusing, lots of good late-night soothing music, and some words of wisdom from time to time, and perhaps then some stories and a word of encouragement that went on. It was very successful, and we were very happy to do that. If I had had the time and the energy, I would have liked to have done it much longer, though I have to tell you, the hours were not the best. And starting work at 10 o'clock at night and going through till much in the early morning was not the best type of schedule, both for family and personal relationships and health. You have to be a bit of an introvert to do that, and I was trying to break out of my introversion. But we did it, and we could do it again. And in some ways, maybe we will someday. It was called Night Call. Well, here's what I learned, is that at that time, we, of course, would invite people to do requests. Okay, would you like to make a request or a dedication? Now, in those days, it wasn't just, something you could email or something you phone in, because it was around the world. So many times these people actually had to write it out on a letter and send it to us. And so that's what they had to do. And so they were rather committed to it. But they did it. And we would get a number of requests. And many times it was they wanted a certain song, or it was a certain dedication to, someone's birthday, someone they loved. We were really big on that. We were really good into requests and dedications. And of course, people love to hear their name on the radio. So when we would mention their name and where they were from and who they were dedicating it to, it really made them happy. Oh my goodness, the program has actually got my message, and they're going to play the song I want, and they're going to mention my name. As I point out, most people have never seen their name in print, and they've actually never had an opportunity to be on the radio. That can change, and part of our mission now as What It Takes Radio is to help people do all of those things. Make their mark in the media marketplace, because everybody can do that now. Well, here's what happened. I discovered that I would get the letter, and I would go something like this. Okay, let's just put it this way. Hey, and tonight we have a special request, and this is from James, who... It rhymes. James in Jamaica. Well, how are you, James? It's good to hear from you. And he says that he enjoys Caribbean Night Call from time to time. And he would like to hear the song One Day at a Time by Tennessee Ernie Ford. By the way, they love that song. And then he said he would like me to dedicate it to his bride-to-be. And her name is Frances. So, James and Frances, this is all about you. So, here we go. This is One Day at a Time. And James and Frances, this is for you. And then I'd play the music. What I discovered is that I would pause before I would say, this is for you, and then play the music. They loved that. People loved it. To actually hear those 4 words, this is for you. Now, the rest of the people can listen in, of course, but they're doing this for me. People love when you do something for them. I oftentimes teach people, and it's one of the fundamental lessons in the marketing class, is that everybody is wearing a sign, a secret sign. And you don't see it because it's a secret. But let me tell you what the sign says. It says, please tell me I'm important. Please tell me I'm important. And my first lesson in how to market yourself is read the sign. And then perhaps do what it says. Think about that. Most sales and marketing is about you and your company and your business. And all you talk about is you, your company, and your business. And they're still wearing the sign, please tell me I'm important. So let me just pass that on to you on Wednesday. Some of the most important words in the English language are, this is for you. I'm doing this program just for you. For instance, when you ask me to come and do a program for your class, your group, your audience, I'm not just going to pick out one that I have sitting on the shelf. I'm going to make a program just for you. It's just for you. I've never done it quite this way for anybody before, and I'll never do it quite this way again. Why? Because it's for you. And I would teach people whenever you would give somebody, they bought something, or particularly we worked in the insurance business a lot, and the insurance agent would have to, when he delivered the policy after going through all the process of selling it, and now he delivers it to them, I taught them to say, this is for you. This is for you. And those are powerful words. So I simply want to encourage you with that little message on this Wednesday. This is for you. Get in the habit of thinking that way, and get an even bigger habit, an even greater way of saying it and believing it. I'm Stan Houston. These are just some interesting ideas. We'll be right back. Thank you. 15 minutes. We try and keep it between 15 and 20 minutes, and because today is Wednesday and it's the hump day, you're trying to make sure the week finishes up well, and as a result of that, I'm doing this just for you, and that's the deal. Hey, I will be gone tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be, my wife is going to have major heart surgery. And so I will be there. I will not be thinking very much of you. I will be thinking of her, and so attending to her during that day. For those of you who do such things, your thoughts and prayers would be fully appreciated. And thank you in advance. So, this has been for you, and I hopefully it has been helpful for you. Remember it, think about it, do it, practice it, and you know what? I'll make a guarantee. Things will then go better for you. Best and blessings. Reach out to me, stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. Until next time, bye for now.